Look.
Listen.
Taylor.
Yep, that's it. That's the one. Hey, can you guys believe it? I talked a big game of, there's no way I can get both Geese Peep and Taylor on the next 2 episodes, and here they are, 2 episodes in a row, 3 episodes in a row. You kidding me?
At the goodness of my heart.
Of her heart.
I watched an episode even though I wasn't supposed to be on it during my work hours.
Yeah.
And told Toby, no, I can't meet this afternoon. I have to go
Geese,
to a doctor's
can you call him
appointment."
something different? Because all I hear is the paranormal activity demon. I can't break that link in my head.
Guys, this is a podcast about Pokemon and other things. Normally, we discuss the Horizons anime. You know, the one that shows up once a week on everybody's favorite websites and Japanese televisions. Here's the thing, guys. Well, that was the plan. We didn't really have access to it, and Geese Peep and Taylor don't speak Japanese, so we switched to Pokétoons instead. This is a good Pokétoon. Very sad. Spoilers. I was crying. As soon as I finished this episode, the Japanese, the Horizons anime became available to us. But
you
Taylor,
know,
what
what
do you
would be
call that?
a coincidence? Irony? Is that?
Cruel. I was looking for like a cruel twist of fate. The rebel.
Oh,
That's
in
just
action.
irony.
Yeah.
That's just irony.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
I was
crazy.
going to say, wouldn't it be really funny if I could understand and fluently speak Japanese, but I can't pronounce basic Pokemon names?
One of the first things I learned in Japanese when I was there was to tell people I couldn't speak Japanese. Unfortunately, I practiced the pronunciation so much that it sounded like I had a little bit of Japanese under my belt. So people would just laugh whenever I said it and proceed to start talking to me in Japanese. So I'd be like looking around at a train station because none of the signs were in English at the time. And somebody would ask me if I needed help, and I'd be like, "Oh, no, I don't." And they'd be like, "Ha, ha, ha," and then proceed to be very helpful.
When I first went to Japan for study abroad, we went to a university and we had to introduce ourselves in Japanese to the various students.
Uh-huh.
And I was so bad. I was so bad that the Japanese students were laughing at me, which is like, they're a very polite society.
No. Okay. Time out. First of all, people laugh all the time in Japan. Like, it's normal. That's fine.
No laughing allowed. I didn't know you did study abroad in Japan, Geese.
That was the first time I went to Japan. It was only for like 3.5 weeks.
I mean, that's a good chunk of change.
But yes, Taylor, to go back to what you said, that exactly happens to me pretty much on a daily basis because
Mr. Japanese
No,
expert
with
over
Geese,
here.
you can't. No, this is an audio podcast.
with Spanish and, I mean, Japanese, I think it's happened less, but Spanish, it happens all the time. I'm trying to say, no, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm doing a really good pronunciation of it. So they give me such a big blast. And it hit me, Taylor, that maybe we're both mistaken because I've never in my life heard somebody walk up to me and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I do not speak English very well."
Yep.
So you're
You
going to
only
have to
hear-
help me with this one.
You hear them say in their own language, "I don't speak English."
Yeah.
You hear no English. You don't
Like-
hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't speak any English," and then walk off.
I've never heard that yet. I'm saying that all the time, unless we're both mistaken and we sound like that to Japanese people or something.
Go ahead, Geese.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of, like, everywhere else in the world, English is the lingua franca. So they have some, like, capacity to speak English. It's just us that doesn't have the capacity to speak other languages.
Yeah. You don't rule the world and have to speak other people's languages, Geese. Come on. English speakers.
I feel like she's saying something different than what we're talking about. Like
I'm
the
saying
opposite.
the same thing.
I think it's the opposite.
We're
think-
both talking about her study abroad program that she didn't tell us about. She's talking about something totally different.
That's so.
I talked about it. I talked about Takahashi-sensei.
No,
She does
you
love-
have not.
She loves Takahashi Sensei. I don't know if it's been on the podcast, but
Yes, it has.
Okay.
I'm sure you've expressed the story to humans. I haven't been one of those humans.
could have been pre-Taylor. Taylor, why don't you set Geese Peep up for Geese's Peepin' of the Week? Let's throw it over to Taylor. Sign the documents. Take it away.
Let's peep in on Geese. Peeping in on me. I don't know anything about plumbing. I know how to change pipes under a sink. I know how to declog stuff, change filters, stuff like that, basics. I don't know how to dig 3 feet into the dirt to find a tiny little hole in a pipe. So that's what I was doing for about 3 hours last night with an emergency plumber.
Ooh.
We called.
Just
like Christmas vacation.
Does he have a big red and white vest and a little guy on the top of his head like the Ape Escape monkeys? You know?
I wish. What a market that would be. I wonder if by the time we're getting into our 50s, if referential, silly stuff like that will be more in vogue.
No, I mean, it's in Japan. All we do is talk about Japan, but, you know, there's adorable little outfits and mascots for everything. Insurance salesman, police, with a little Sarah Ledge.
That would be so sick.
Oh, yeah, that's what this Pokemon episode's about that we're going to watch. A Pokétoon about Sarah Ledge and Armarouge. And I'm going to tell you right now, I thought they were brothers at first, and it made me extra sad, but learning they're just very, very close friends, a little bit less sad. Okay.
Also made me sad.
Yeah, God, so sad. Oh, my God. Taylor, you were saying before we move on to Lookin, Play, and Eating the Goof?
Pipe burst, middle of the night, freezing, water everywhere, covered in mud, dogs having a panic attack trying to jump through a window to bark.
Oh my gosh.
All the while, Guncan is like, "Hey Taylor, are you coming to this party?" my mom can't move. She's on pain medication because we had taken her to the doctor earlier. And she's like, "I don't know what's going on." And I'm sitting there, the water's spewing out of the ground, dogs going crazy. I'm having to check my phone. And this guy's just like, "Oh, man, my whole family's here now." And I'm like, "That's awesome."
What a night.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
It was supposed to be just a pretty relaxing night.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, Geese People, I finally remembered because he kept doing that intonation. I was thinking, what is that from? The bloom of my youth? That's what the intonation is. Okay. That sounds terrible, Taylor. I'm sorry. Your life is nothing but just absolute.
A series of hurdles.
Yeah, that's terrible. Geese People wouldn't have been able to survive that.
Oh, no, I would not have. I would have called the police and be like, you need to handle this.
Yes, it's an emergency. I'm being attacked. They're under the house.
Guys, Taylor, do you have more to say, or is it time for Watch and Play and Eating of the Week?
Of the evening?
What?
It was a yes or no question, and you said of the evening.
Eating of the evening. Because you said of the week, because
you're weak? You're not strong enough for the police?
Yeah, not when they're under the house.
So is that a yes or a no, or what are we doing? What are we dealing with here?
I'll decide after I hear Geese's answer.
I guess so.
All right, guys. Look.
Listen.
We haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of things. I'm surprised we're even keeping this segment into the podcast. This is episode, did I mention it's 129? That's probably correct, I would imagine. I've been watching, because Balatro won Game of the Year in my heart. And Balatro...
I was so confused.
And Balatro Man continues fighting the good fight against Europe. Oh, the foolish Europe. I think I already mentioned this a week or two back, but Balatro, the fun game for everyone where you're just getting nice, fun points, and it has nothing to do with gambling. There's no wagering. Europe says, nah, your game is restricted only for adults. It's gambling themes, even though there's nothing about gambling. Very frustrating. He's fighting the good fight. But this has led to all sorts of videos I've been recommended about how to get infinite scores and just such exponential scores. I've never got past, I think, even 1,000,000 something. But I was seeing billions into the exponential 2600 whatever, and then just breaking the game when it hits infinity. And God, what a video game!
All from one hand of poker?
It's not poker. Just uses poker hands as a.
I thought I would get you on that one.
Local Thunk shouts out, I hope Europe changes their mind. Everyone send emails, text messages to Europe, to specifically Peggy, P-E-G-I, and tell them you're making a huge mistake. CC whoever the decision makers, the important people who with money and decision making, and say, guys, this is dumb.
I love when it's not reform, but it's like reform adjacent stuff becomes a topic of conversation. Just because you have like something that is Balatro that has poker hands, which everyone's like, oh, that's obviously gambling. And he's like, well, it's a game played in casinos, but you can't gamble. I'm very anti-gambling. And they're like, I don't think so. Whereas you have loot boxes, for instance, which were active for a very long time, which are literally gambling. And they're like, I don't know. They're using blasters.
Yeah, that's rated 3 years old and up in Europe. And, well, I'm saying Balatro, but I watched a video, and I think it was the man's voice, and he said Balatro. And I went, what?
Oh, maybe it is Balatro.
Unfortunately, this is a Rayquaza situation, and I think I'm going to keep saying Balatro. Sorry, everybody.
It sounds better.
In eating this week, it's the holiday season.
Deli Bird. Oh, I'm sorry. I still don't really know the song.
No,
you're sorry.
You're supposed to say Deli Bird. You did it right.
Oh, yeah, Deli Bird.
No, you said it too early.
I'm sorry. Season of apologies.
So it's the season of apologies, and because of that, I ate some free bagels and chocolate alohas at work. The bagels were good. Chocolate goofball alohas, amusing aloha bites, whatever they're called. I was losing my mind, though, because I was eating them the day we recorded the last Horizons with Momoru. Momo-chan. The Alolan bites were made by a man named Momoru, and I've never seen that name in my life, and then twice in one day, I was losing my mind.
It's the name of somebody in, like, Bleach or something.
Momoru. Momoru. No, it's Mamoru. Guys, come on.
yeah, that's what I've been saying. It's Mamoru.
Can we get it
Mamu.
It's not Mamu. But they're just some, what are they, macadamia nuts covered in milk chocolate? I prefer dark chocolate, but Taylor, please take it away. I mean, Geese Peep, what? Geese Peep, please take it away.
Geese, it is what chocolate should be. Dark chocolate is fantastic. Just have yourself some 95% dark chocolate. Change your view on life.
95.
I have, and it's too much. I'd say too bitter.
She doesn't have good music taste either. Geese Peep, please take it away.
It's okay. After you turn like 13, 14, you start liking dark chocolate and enjoying, I guess, whiskey or scotch or something.
This is a family affair, Taylor.
First of all, how dare you, Michael? What do you mean I don't have good music taste?
Just snuck that in. I was trying to cover your tracks so hard.
Geese Peep, I tried to listen for you to Brat by Charlie 52.
I also tried to do that.
CXC. I got a couple seconds into the first track, and I'm like, what is this little girly pop nonsense?
That's because you're not Brat.
And turned it off.
Some of the songs on that album are pretty good, but most of the time it just sounds like Billie Eilish.
I tried to have a Brat winter for you, Geese Peep, and it didn't work.
I tried to.
I can.
This is what Parliament is, Geese. You've been outvoted.
I guess you're just too old, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I was saying a couple seconds ago. Enjoy your whiskey and scotch in 24 years when you're 26 years old.
You guys don't like Brat because you're not hot girls. And it's okay. But
I'll get there, I guess.
Yeah. Great album of the year.
Geese Peep, did you watch football? What? She's a big sports girly.
Ooh.
Sports girly.
Go Pigs.
Go Pigs.
The St. Louis Pigs are riding them up.
I would love it if you had like the Washington Oinkers.
The New Brunswick horses.
So my sister's home, and her boyfriend is a football coach, and their team is in the division something or other finals. So we've been watching their games, and then we have a family friend who's a football player in college, so he's been watching a lot of football. So I'm learning a lot about football. Like, there's too many rules, and there's so many players.
So much setup for so little payoff.
I hear it is the most regulated game of all time. Just nonstop ruling and numbering.
Question from the audience, Geese. Is your sister's boyfriend anything like Julia Roberts' fiance from the movie Runaway Bride?
Never seen it.
No further questions.
Your Honor,
thank you.
Sustained. I sentence you to Princess Diaries 2. We're back in Genovia.
We need to finish that movie.
Yeah.
We didn't even get, I don't think, 2 minutes in.
The CG was rough.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do that. I know why people do that, but what's the point?
I don't know what he's talking about, Geese Pete.
CG, like bad CG. Like they finish it and they put it to print, and if it's not even considered good in its time, why?
Well,
I'll tell you why they did it. Because they had aerial shots of the castle in Genovia.
I thought this was Princess Bride 2.
Not Little Mermaid 2. Got her. Second time.
Princess Diaries 2. And this was filmed in, I want to say, 2004. Before they had drones that could, take drone shots of actual castles. So they needed CGI to create that shot.
Oh, my.
They weren't going to pay, like, $10,000 to have a helicopter to create some B-roll of a castle. This was a direct-to-TV movie.
Oh, no.
B-roll. That's so sick, Taylor. Would you like to talk about your fiber milk now? Or does Geese Pete have more football talk?
I want to hear more about football, honestly.
Did you know that they have... This is so embarrassing.
Did I know?
I should have realized this.
Here, start another sentence.
But separate from the first two.
Yeah.
This is so embarrassing, but I thought that football had... What?
We still don't know the subject of this.
I can't wait to hear what this is about.
I'm getting there.
This is the most tension I've had since that scene in No Country for Old Men.
Oh my god.
Fine, I'll put my subject before the prerequisite or whatever it's called.
Football.
Preposition.
Geese.
Mute
plays.
Mute your mic, Taylor, so we can hear.
I thought that you put offense and defense on at the same time.
I mean,
I don't know why, but that's what I thought. But I learned, no, you have separate teams. Depending on who has possession, you either play your offensive line, your defensive line, or your special teams, which is like when you have to kick a field goal.
So you're telling me they're all just sitting on a bench watching the game happen?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I know in football you can have an interception because then your plan goes out the window. Now you got a whole defensive team trying to run it down the old pigskin.
That's why you have to fast swap your team. You get the special team to cover the interception, and then when it turns over, you get the other team in.
So you can't – can you just be having the football in your hand and say, Coach, timeout, let's switch teams?
I think you can, but you'd probably plead to the ref.
No, probably – can a coach say stop the play?
Yeah, 100%.
When do Geese Peep, as a resident football expert, when are you allowed to call a timeout?
When a play is done.
Oh, you can't call it during.
You can't.
No.
You can't say catch, like Final Fantasy X. Swap out, swap in.
It has to play has to be done.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure.
Official ruling.
No way to ever know. Taylor, would you like to talk about fiber milk this week, or is Geese Peep going to talk about football some more?
I want to hear
No,
more about
I'm curious
Geese's
about the
football.
fiber milk.
Yeah,
It's just fiber cereal and milk.
Taylor.
The more interesting thing, did I tell you about the dry brining experiment I had with chicken?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, darn it.
That's so sick.
Wait,
I still haven't died.
I do have follow-up questions on that. So did you just rub and let a chicken just in some salt, or like how did that work?
I mean, it was just little chicken tenders, chicken breast meat.
Okay, what was the order of operations? You get the chicken, you bury it in some salt?
No, I just sprinkle salt on the outside because you don't want to oversalt it.
Okay.
Basically, what you're doing is dehydrating the outer layer and removing moisture. And I don't want to say it's salt curing, but it's close to that. Normally, people recommend with chicken, you do it for like 3 hours or something like that. I went a little bit over that, which, as I said, was about 5 days. And I didn't die. It made it super crispy. Really, it's very hard to burn the skin at that point. You're only a little bit afraid that you're going to get salmonella or E. coli or something when you're staring at the chicken and it's just not cooking right. Everybody dry brine your meat.
Well,
that sounds like bad advice.
Won't the salt help kill any bacteria?
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the basis of salt curing.
When I was in the 5th grade I
thought you were going to say the military. Okay, go on, Geese.
When I was a child soldier in the 5th grade.
Well, I thought you were going to say, when I was in the 5th Infantry Unit.
Let me start again, Taylor. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
keep on interrupting me. When I was in the 5th grade for our ancient Egypt unit, our class mummified using traditional Egyptian methods a chicken.
What?
Taylor, we had ancient Egyptian class in 6th grade in middle school and intermediate school.
We didn't get to mummify it. You got to mummify something?
We just used like some gold paper and a back of a pencil to make like a little guy. And we said, look, it's my name in Egyptian hieroglyphics.
We mummified the chicken using the actual practices. So we removed all the organs. We stuffed it with a bunch of salt and various other spices. And then...
Spices!
An exacting blend of Mediterranean herbs and spices.
A nice spiced Egyptian ruler.
And then we wrapped it and, drew all of the runes and whatever. And then...
Thank you, librarian!
Let me finish the story.
Okay.
Then we got to bury it in one of my classmates' backyard, and it is still there for the future people to discover.
Yeah.
Okay. Teachers who are listening, all one of you probably, this is exactly how you really engage student interest in education. Is this also potentially how you awaken a serial killer's inner voice? Yes, but that's fine.
Maryland goes hard. What can we tell you?
That's wild, Geese. So are you guys going to dig it up?
In 25 years.
We can't. If we dig it up, we'll get it cursed.
Oh.
We did all of the traditional practices.
Did you say a prayer?
An ancient Egyptian prayer?
Buried it. We printed out a copy of the Book of the Dead.
Just like the ancient Egyptians.
Traditional. That's in the Mummy 2 when they have the printer.
Yeah.
The Mummy 3 really takes off when they bring the photocopier into the mix, and then you don't know which one's real.
You guys should have seen the ancient Egyptians when the Gutenberg, the printing press, when it was going wild.
I will say, to be fair, the practice of burying with the Book of the Dead was more of a new dynasty practice. It wasn't really in the old or middle dynasties.
Geese, I can't express to you how confused I am. I don't know if you're doing a bit because I don't know anything about that.
It's the new age stuff. How about we go and just move on to Pokétoons?
I'm so curious, Geese.
There's different dynasties in ancient Egyptian history.
Geese, real quick, can you say dynasties so it seems more like official?
Dynasties.
Yes, thank you.
Are we ready for Pokénews?
Pokénews of the week.
Here's my hope and wish that this piece of news is relevant to you. Guys, Sarah B reports that a new trailer has been released for the coming Pokemon arc where they enter Area 0 and encounter Paradox Pokemon. What a big spoiler for Horizons.
Whoa.
I am very happy to see there are people out there who have been drawing fan art of Sandoichi over here with Screamtail, the big Paradox Jigglypuff, for years now. And in the trailer, Sango is playing with Screamtail, and I'm pretty sure she's going to catch it, and it's going to be wonderful. Let me show you guys a picture, because I think you're going to agree they're a match made.
Also, real quick, just to clarify, it's New Kingdom Dynasty.
Oh.
They're all, so it's Old, Middle, Intermediate Kingdom Dynasties, just so you know. First Intermediate and Second Intermediate Dynasties. That's sick.
Oh, I forgot that Captain Pikachu knew Shadow Clone Jutsu. So this is just spoiling everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They love giving little trailer previews for upcoming stuff. I mean, what, you thought they weren't going to go to Area 0? Are you kidding me?
I really don't know how Area 0... I mean, I know what Area 0 is. I just don't know if it's
these
just
guys,
restricted or if it's magical.
It's very restricted. I think the Paradox Pokemon have been in the end credits since the beginning. Guys, let's go ahead and discuss an episode of Pokemon this week. This time, it's a Pokétoon. Geese Peep, would you like to tell us the name of today's episode in English?
Charcadet Childhood Friends.
Or in Japanese?幼なじみのカルボウ. This is a very good Pokétoon. I had no expectations that I was going to be in tears for this episode of Pokemon. I felt so bad because I know Geese Peep, maybe she's not the hugest fan of wildly sad things, but
Wasn't that sad?
It wasn't that sad.
boy, was it sad to me. I was, even like hours afterwards, I was thinking of it. Just, oh my God. That poor boy was abandoned. And God, the life they could have had together. Okay, spoilers.
It did make me think about, every time they catch a Pokemon, they're removing it from its family, its network. Like, that Pokemon had a life before it was caught.
That's why lately in the anime, it's always, hey, do you want to join us? And they say yes or no.
And they really say, well, I don't know. I don't know about all this. We remember how many times Roy's had the opportunity to get a partner Pokemon, and it's just like, okay, bye.
Well, partner Pokemon is your first starter Pokemon.
Oh, I thought they were all called partners now.
Your partner Pokemon is your first starter Pokemon that you choose. I mean, it doesn't have to be a starter, but it's your first, like, it's your main dude. It's your main guy. It's your starter. Guys, we open in Mesa Goza in front of Naranja Academy. Taylor, what is this bias towards Pokemon Scarlet? What about us Violet heads out here? No representation? Kidding me?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We're in front of Naranja Academy, Taylor, and we see two sick Pokemon standing on opposite buildings.
And I hope they get better.
It's Shiny Ceruledge versus Armarouge. Ooh, and they're win.
Okay, so that was my question, and I feel like you mentioned it before. So the one with the blue eyes is Shiny. That's not like a different... Because I thought it was like, I think that's a Shiny, but I didn't know if that was like the female form of it or whatever.
Keith, that's very reasonable because it's a terrible Shiny.
I see what they're doing with it now, though. They're trying to be sick.
What they should have done is just had their evolutions swap palettes. That would have been fine and sick, and everybody would have been real excited.
Here's what I think happened, guys. Because I've given this little piece of trivia a million times, and I'm going to give it a million more. But you look at the designs of Ceruledge and Armarouge, and you say, wow, what sick Mega Man villains. And then you look up who designed these creatures. Ah, yes. One of the guys who worked on Mega Man Battle Network. This makes a lot of sense. I think he said, my designs are so good, you want to make a Shiny, you can change their eye color. But these guys are great. We don't need perfection. We don't need to.
But Mega Man loves color swapping.
He does.
What I'm thinking is that they put the person who was in charge of the Darkrai Shiny in charge of this Shiny.
So here's the thing, Geese Peep. Shiny Charcadet, his eyes are blue for Shiny instead of red. Then when he evolves, if he evolves into Armarouge, I believe the eyes do change to blue. But if he evolves into Ceruledge, the eyes change from white to red. But yes.
Is this like a Lycanroc situation for it depends on like what time of day they evolve?
Did you not watch the episode? Well, I guess they don't make it super clear.
They don't make it clear at all. It's an item-based.
There's auspicious armor and there's malicious armor. But we'll get to that because it's literally the plot of the show.
Yeah, it's a little...
Two different sets of armor to evolve into a different Pokemon.
Yeah. I actually was really surprised when they both saw armor because in my head, one of them was bladed in some form. Not just the exact same armor.
No, they're completely different armors. One's a different color.
Completely different.
So They are winded from battle, and then they lunge towards each other to attack, and we get a white flash on the screen. And we're back in time, guys. We see them as baby Charcadets in a Paldean field as springtime deerling run by.
Are you two a fan of when they do that? The little, this is what's happening now. Let's immediately flashback.
I think it's good for retention. That's a huge way to keep people to keep watching because they're going to want to see what led to this. So
yeah, I think it can go either way. It depends on how the story unfolds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So the baby Charcadets are trying to get some citrus berries out of a tree, And I thought they were, again, like I said, I thought these guys were brothers, which made this story so much more sad to me. But they're just good friends. One of them is Shiny. We'll refer to him as Shiny for now because they're both Charcadet. He's got his little blue eyes, and he's trying to jump real high to get these berries, but he's not making it. Oh, he's so close. But then the regular Charcadet jumps super high, and he manages to touch one of the berries. But I don't think either of them gets the berries. Do they, Geese Beep? Rista?
No, because they are interrupted by a hiker.
Their tumbos start a rumbling, and they smell something. It's a man! He has a very large backpack. And poor shiny Charcadet is so spooked, Geese Beep. He's hiding behind the tree.
I also hide when I see unfamiliar men.
With bags.
But non-shiny Charcadet is not as anxious as his shiny friend. So what does he do, Geese Beep?
He runs and makes the hiker fall down, and then when the hiker has fallen, he steals a sandwich from the backpack.
A giant sandwich, Taylor. The sandwich is enormous.
It actually seemed like a pretty normal sandwich.
Yeah, it seemed like a normal, foot-long sandwich.
I think Charcadet's just very, very small.
That's a good point. Giant submarine sandwich, at least 50 feet long.
I mean, later on, Armorage is going to get a big sandwich.
Honestly, this made me make a sandwich and eat a sandwich, so.
What kind of sandwich?
It was just turkey.
Gosh darn it, turkey, Geese. But you need to make a nice classic, you chop up the iceberg lettuce, you put red wine vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes, and oregano, and you mix it together. Oh, yeah.
Taylor, I would love to make a nice sandwich, but that is not in the cards for me here at this household.
Why?
Because there's no food here.
What? Okay, so Geese, we got to get to the bottom of this. We're taking a Pokepause of the week. Your parents need to give you food and stop abandoning you in hurricanes.
Yeah.
It's the holidays.
It's the holiday season.
Delibird. Did I do it too soon again?
No, you're good.
No, you did it good.
Okay, sick.
Did you notice that the shiny Charcadet, he kind of sounds like the NPCs from Zelda? Just like
yes. Oh, that's a good point.
When you press A.
I don't like the noises that they made.
All right, Geese Beep, you don't like anything.
She loves turkey. Oh no, she hates turkey. Oh man,
I love turkey.
Maybe he's right.
But guys, this sandwich, like I said, it's as big as the whole Pokemon, and it's adorable. And Geese, here's the thing. His Tumbo's Rumbo, but Shiny doesn't really believe in stealing, so he doesn't know about eating some of this stolen sandwich. But in the end, hunger wins out, and they share the sandwich together.
Oh, I interpreted that totally differently.
Oh, I mean, there's no dialogue, so that's just my interpretation. What's your
That's how I interpreted it.
Oh, I thought it was because Shiny didn't get the sandwich itself. It didn't want to have any of it. And then the other one was reluctant to give it, but when hunger took over. All
I know is Shiny is a saint, and spoilers, when people call him bad Pokemon later, the amount of upset I got. He is not a bad Pokemon.
Oh, God, no.
Nope. So they eat the whole sandwich, but they're still hungry, and they're giggling to themselves over the Tumbo Rumbos. Oh, how sweet.
I also didn't like this. They were acting too much like people.
Well, I mean, they have hands. Eating a sandwich.
They're just little guys.
The giggling and the looking at the clouds. I was like, no, this is too much.
Really?
This is what you said about poor Florigato, and people disagree with you.
Yeah, and I stand by it.
Oh my God! Look at her; she's standing.
That was a different situation. Florigato went from being a cat to being a person and a cat.
Well, then we cut to fall. You can tell always by the coat on the deerling, and the Charcadets are running around, and Geese Peep, they find a Rotom phone. And it's showing off these sick battles in Mesa Goza. Oh my God.
Did they just find it?
What?
Did they find it or did they steal it?
No, it was laying on the ground when they found it. There's some sick battles with Excalibur and Crocodile and Scovillain and Altaria and Ticaton. Oh my God. Goldango, your favorite, Geese Peep. Did you see him? He was so sick.
Mr. Macaroni Man.
Mr. Macaroni Man.
Mr. Macaroni Man.
Mr. Macaroni Man, you're out of order. This court finds you in contempt. Regular Charcadet is very hyped watching these battles because here's the thing, guys. Regular, he loves battling. Shiny, he's not a big battler, but regular, he loves him. Also in the background, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to miss a couple because these guys were detailed in their tiny 2-pixel drawings, but
the animation quality in this is absurd. I'll get into that later.
It's very high, yeah. But we at the very least, see a Sandygast, Gudra, Girafarig, Swalot, Flaffy, Pomodo, Pomo, Pomo, a Bellybolt, a Vigoroth, a Snover, a Psyduck, a Buizel, an Ice-Cue, maybe a Bergmite, probably many more. And then, Geese Peep, a young, rich lad. This boy is very wealthy. From Naranja
with his Louis
Academy.
Vuitton backpack.
How can you tell he's wealthy?
By the scene later in his mansion.
Oh, right.
He shows up and he's looking for his phone. Honestly, he's so rich, I'm surprised he doesn't just buy another one instead of looking for his current phone.
Maybe he's not actually rich.
He's a blonde young man and he stares at regular Charcadet watching the fight. And his reaction is, I would say, amusement. He's kind of having fun with this fact. He says, all right, little guy, how about a battle? And if I win, you give me my phone back.
I just didn't like that was how the interaction went. I know he was amused, but as a viewer, I'm sitting there thinking, that's like you stealing my backpack and telling me I have to play a game to get it back, or you're just going to fully steal it.
No, you got to picture it as if a toddler or a dog was playing with your backpack. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, and I'd fight a dog for my backpack.
He's Peep.
I would too.
Orf. Go, Shroomish. Zen Headbutt. Oh my god, I laughed so hard. Charcadet's first attack in this battle is to take the phone and throw it directly into Shroomish's face.
I was cracking up. So, I know we talked about this last week, but is Charcadet trying to steal a Pokemon because Rotom has possessed that phone?
We're going to have to consult the Pokemon Company International on this one, Taylor.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time grasping the concept of Rotom phones.
I think
but it's weird to me.
Maybe you have some functionality even without the Rotom. You got it. Because there's plenty of technology that doesn't have a Rotom in it.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe it wasn't an actual Rotom. Maybe it was just a phone that's been made to look like a Rotom.
No,
and they just call it a Rotom phone?
It's Rotom.
We've literally watched Rotoms go in and out of, like, play Sun and Moon. Your Rotom comes in and out of your guy. Anyway, let's just not worry about it. Charcadet hits Shroomish in the face so incredibly hard and then goes for a fire punch. And what we proceed to see is a very sick battle. You can't argue that the battles aren't sick. Did I use enough double negatives, Taylor? Triple negatives?
You can't argue that they're aren't sick.
They're very good. Oh my god. Is Charcadet KO'd? No, he's not. Guys, don't worry. But he's hurt a little bit. And oh my god. His shiny little friend, which I thought was his brother, which bears repeating a million times.
I must say they're both girls to even it up.
And Charcadet, Shiny is worried about his friend.
The shiny Charcadet was climbing the tree to get a berry. I assumed to throw at the trainer.
I thought it was to give to the other Charcadet because the other Charcadet was injured.
That's correct. So to give him some hit points. So Shiny gets very worried about what I call as his brother and climbs up the tree to get the citrus berry to give him some hit points and heal him. But in the middle of this, Geese Peep, the trainer offers to take Charcadet with him and says, hey, if you come with me, you can learn to battle real strong, just like this Shroomish. And Geese Peep, Charcadet grabs the trainer's hand, and Shiny watches him leave as he's on the tree, and he climbs down the tree as quick as he can, but he's gone.
The old Irish goodbye.
And he drops the berry so dramatically.
I just can't imagine that. I was very surprised that the people who wrote this episode were like, oh no, it's just nothing, no history meant anything to it.
So sad. The music playing is so sad. At this point, I pause and go, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake.
My first instinct was, oh, I can't wait until this Pokemon becomes an angry Ceruledge and attacks the Armorage.
Oh boy, the abandonment issues. Could you imagine this? Oh god, I can't. Can I even finish this episode? Geese Peep, I was crying more than Stoutland episode. This is a rough one. We'll get to it.
Just has to watch them walk off into the distance. It's so harsh.
So alone. We cut to Mesa Goza. We see some Psyduck, Swablu, female Combee, a bunch of students, and the Shiny's running around looking for his brother. Can't find him anywhere, even though he walked right past him. And then it looks like Geese Peep, he's given up. But no, he's looking all around Paldea trying to find him past a Gimmighoul, a Seviper. Even through the scariest cave I've ever seen in my life, so full of dragons. There's Salandit, Noibat, Sableye, Dino, Shelgon, Dugtrio, Larvitar, Gibble, and Gabite. Jeez Louise, that was a scary cave.
It is so awful how much. And they just keep, like, by the time they showed the scene of non-shiny Charcadet, just wandering by, not a care in the world, just, oh man, it sure is fun being in the city. No, how do you not think of the person you grew up with? What on earth?
I mean, I guess we can discuss this now. We could discuss this in discussion of the week, but clearly what it is we could actually get real in depth with this. I actually think those two should have swapped armors because I think their personalities would have matched the other.
I like that they went in the other direction.
The non-shiny Charcadet clearly was not fulfilled in his life and was really into battles and wanted a better life out there battling, but it still is very, very sad. He didn't say, oh, wait, but my friend. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. We see Shiny just walking through the rain, and I'm just thinking, how could regular Charcadet abandon... I keep writing his brother, but it's his friend. But it's Onanajimi.
What does that mean?
It's we've discussed it in this podcast before. It's a very deep term. It just means childhood friend, but it's much deeper than that. Cloud and Tifa are described in the Japanese version of Final Fantasy VII as Osana Najimi.
So potential romantic interest.
No, it's like super best friend. There's not romance really implied. So then Shiny Charcadet runs into an abandoned church, and he sees a vision of his best friend, Geese Peep, and we see, oh my god, the symbolism.
Quick question, were you two not completely shocked to see a church in Pokemon?
Yeah, that's the thing. I always think about that because it implies religion, but I guess they have to include churches because that's such an important cultural thing. And,
it's very cool. It's sick imagery. Like churches are very sick.
Like you can't have, France or Spain or England without having, ruins with churches.
There's a god in Pokemon. His name's Arceus, and there's people who, if you guys played Legends Arceus, there are two warring tribes worshiping different gods.
So would these chapels be related to them?
Well, this one just has Ceruledge stuff, so they may be worshiping.
And it had a piece of the armor, so I was assuming that they were related to the Charcadet evolutions.
It is, yeah.
Maybe it's like Shinto stuff, but it's the aesthetics of, European Christian churches.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sure for early Pokemon humans, it would have been very easy to worship a Pokemon with magical powers. So we see a very sick stained glass in the image of two Charcadets, and you see one evolving into Armarouge, but the one that is going to evolve into Ceruledge has been shattered, so the glass is there. And poor Shiny's just crying, Geese Peep, and he falls to the ground. Oh my god. And then we cut to the trainer before. We never get this guy's name, right? The trainer who grabbed the Charcadet? Maybe it's written somewhere, I don't know. But we cut to the rich trainer. He's battling Crabominable, and immediately I recognize, oh, of course, that's Cascarafa. I bet he's battling Kofu. He is. By this point, guys, Shroomish has evolved into Breloom. And then we see Charcadet and a Quaxwell are sitting in the little stands watching the battle. Crab Hammer! At this point, Geese Peep, Charcadet watches his new friend Breloom get hit with an attack. So what does he decide is the best course of action in the middle of their gym battle?
He's not going to sit around. He's going to interfere and punch the thing.
I loved this moment because, one, it was very much it's on brand for that Charcadet. Kind of solidifies that protective battle nature that it was displaying earlier with Shiny. And it's also showing what we don't really get to see, which is a wild Pokemon becoming accustomed to human rules for battling. Normally, it's just like, oh, hey, I caught a Fletchling. It already knows how to battle, just one-on-one. But it was watching to learn, and it was like, oh, no, I should be there.
Well, turns out that was a mistake, because immediately Charcadet is just blasted back with the hardest attack known to man and catapulted into the wall and slammed.
Did you two hear the sound design on this crab hammer?
Can't believe he survived it.
It was so sick.
The trainer immediately apologizes to Kofu, bows very deeply, Sumimasen, but then compliments Charcadet for his ability to hone in on a target. Maybe he could train that skill up, Taylor.
Very good trainer.
So then we get kind of a montage of training with Charcadet. We're in a battle against Rufflet in Asado Desert. Oh my god. This is all interspersed, going back and forth between the two Charcadets, and we see baby Shiny just, God, he's all alone.
Heartbreaking.
With his little fire in the church, and he's cold. We see regular Charcadet battling Camerupt, maybe on Glaciato Mountain. Shiny's still cold and crying, and Geese BB's under a ratty blanket.
But why? Because he's made out of fire. I'm very confused by that.
So cold, Geese. So cold.
And Charcadet's training against Breloom in front of what looks like Lily's house, TBH, but I think it's just Cabo Poco or maybe Los Platos. And then we see the trainer's mansion. This man, holy moly, he's got some money, and he's old money, because yes, Geese B.
And they walk into this giant wooden mansion with Charcadet, who is made out of fire, and I get so anxious. And then they go into a library.
A library? He's not made of fire. You can probably turn his little fire guy off a little bit.
And they can always rebuild it like Notre Dame.
Yeah. So then Trainer shows that he actually has an auspicious armor sitting displayed, and it's been in his family for many generations. Ooh.
If you are wealthy enough to have a set of armor as the decoration. Whew.
And then we see the dichotomy. Is that the correct word? We see the difference in lifestyle between baby. We get rich Charcadet being read to in the library by some beautiful armor, and then cut to Shiny. He's just trying to collect berries so he can have something for his empty stomach, but then all these Bronzor are eating his berries, and then a Gengar shows up and throws an apple core at him.
Just wild.
Oh my god.
This poor thing gets, oh man, this is a rough watch. If you've got abandonment issues, this is a rough watch.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh god, maybe I should tell Taylor not to.
I'm thinking I'm learning a lot about YouTube watching this episode.
Guys, then we get what I think is absolutely the sickest moment of this entire Pokétoon, which is the story that Trainer reads to Charcadet. The legend of this armor is what Shiny is going through right now.
It's so sick.
The ancient tale tells, very hard word to say, right after you say tale into tells of a Charcadet battling a mean Gengar. But this Charcadet doesn't like to battle, much like Shiny Charcadet. But oh my god, there's a malicious armor knocked over in the church, and it starts to glow as Shiny's being squeezed to death by Gengar's tongue.
To KO.
And he's remembering his brother abandoning him. And then the auspicious armor in the library starts to glow, and Charcadet runs toward it. Meanwhile, Shiny Charcadet
shimmies.
No, he's knocked into the glass and shatters the stained glass off of the Ceruledge Charcadet. And then he attacks Gengar and sprints towards the armor. Both of them at the same time evolve. Oh my god. Taylor, I know you're a Caleb on this one, but when that giant ghost explosion Shiny Ceruledge appears, are you kidding me?
It's so sick.
It's pretty sick.
And the thing that they do with this Charcadet that they don't really do with Amaranths is they display its speed and how fast it is. It's so darn sick.
Gengar, shouts out to Gengar. If I was that Gengar, I'd say, "Oh, sorry, man, I was just joking around."
It was actually very like something that I noted was its expression changing from like the big old smile to just accurately, or not accurately, but deliberately kind of assessing what it was dealing with. It was really good animation.
So the Gengar attacks with a Shadow Ball, and Ceruledge dodges so quickly and goes straight into a Bitter Blade. And then we get, this next battle sequence, give him an award. Give him a big award. The Bitter Blade misses Gengar, goes to hit a Bronzor. Bronzor uses Reflect. The beam bounces off the Reflect into another Bronzor, which uses Reflect. So the beam bounces off that into a third Bronzor, who also uses Reflect. So the beam just goes ding, 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 all over the church. And Gengar's jumping around back and forth, and it's so sick.
Poor Gengar the ghost just wanted to eat some berries and bully a abandoned Charcadet.
Yes. So then eventually it hits Gengar. Ceruledge rushes up and does an anime slice, and Gengar falls. And
kills Gengar.
He doesn't kill him. You probably skipped the credits like last Pokétoon, but spoilers.
You can't kill a ghost.
They turn into friends in the end. Okay. Taylor, did you see after Gengar falls and Ceruledge sheathes its blades with the shiki?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Unfortunately, when I saw that animation, one, I'm just thinking Mega Man Battle Network the whole time Ceruledge is on the screen. Two, I'm thinking, well, okay, so it made its blades smaller. How's it going to pick up berries? I guess it's just going to be like a skewer? Yeah, everything's probably a shish kebab?
So we get that vibe, the abandoned guy in the sick battle, and then we just cut to a fun picnic. Oh, look, there's Rowlet, Breloom, Quackavall, and now Armarouge. You evolved. Great work. Here's a congratulatory sandwich, Armarouge. And I said to myself before anything happens, I said, "Oh, I hope you enjoy that sandwich, Armarouge. Sure hope you remember your best friend in the world, the boy you grew up with, that you abandoned."
This Armoret, it's not Armoredge, it's Armarouge.
Rouge is Rouge.
Oh,
what are you saying?
And it makes sense because it's red. I thought it was Armoredge, but I also haven't really looked at the spelling because I always beeline towards Ceruledge because I like the design better.
And Ceruledge Cerulean because he's blue.
More purple. Anyway, I'm thinking the whole time, if this Armarouge is sitting there after so much time and it just now remembers, I'm going to be upset. And guess what? I'm upset.
Yep. He finally remembers his best friend when he gets the sandwich. Then we cut to night. We see Ceruledge, like Batman, watching Mesa Goza in the night as we hear the announcement say, "Tomorrow there's a big tournament. Come down and battle." We immediately cut the next day, big time battle time. Did you see that, Geese Peep? Did you see that giant Pikachu blow up Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade float?
I did. I took a screenshot.
God, it was
ooh.
And then we see our boy, Rich Trainer, interviewed by the news with Armarouge. He talks about how his pokes are growing strong. Oh my God. Ampharos is watching the interview. A little Flittle floats by. Oh my God, we see a Bonsley. And a flash of Ceruledge. He's moving so quick, guys. Oh my God.
So sick.
He's waiting. Ceruledge is in the arena, ready to battle. And immediately, as soon as he locks eyes with Armarouge, he attacks. Oh my God. All those years of abandonment.
Taylor. I saw Ceruledge standing in the center of the arena, and I was thinking, you're not just going to have it standing in the pose of the Pokedex entry and not moving, are you? And they did that, and I was disappointed. And then I noticed the sick, dark, evil aura around it, and I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this.
Yeah, Malicious Armor will do that. Oh my God, it's time for a battle. Everybody's so confused. Who is that Pokemon? Is that an evil Pokemon? No, he's not evil. He was just abandoned by his best friend.
Yeah.
Armarouge, use expanding force. Ceruledge dodges so easily. He's so fast. Oh my god.
Darn sick.
Fire spin, and Ceruledge runs behind a Grimmsnarl. The Grimmsnarl takes the hit. There's a Bergmite nearby. Oh my god, stay away from the fire. Also, there's a Murkrow watching and a Goomy. Ceruledge.
Goomy.
The way that just unfolded, Geese went Goomy, and you went Ceruledge, and I thought you were just making the call.
Oh, like we're talking to each other in Pokemon?
Yeah.
Ceruledge is so sick. And at this point, Taylor, Armarouge looks into Ceruledge's eyes, and what does he realize?
It's the one that he abandoned and should feel incredible, overwhelming guilt.
That's right. It's his Osana Najimi. And then Ceruledge just runs away up onto the rooftops. And Armarouge chases him using the sickest high jump propulsion jet rocket Mega Man blaster jump imaginable.
I'll tell you, this episode got a lot of points because it made me like Armarouge. Normally, I was thinking, why would anybody choose Armarouge, as Ceruledge has it looks real fast and sick, it has better color scheme, and it has the 2 swords on its arms. That's sick. Armarouge just looks kind of goofy and clunky with the big armor, with the shoulders floating off like a Gundam, and it being able to turn them into an energy. So sick.
They're basically like Mega Man and Zero.
Yes.
And now we are, guys. We're back to the very beginning of the episode. Yes, Geese Beep, those eyebrows are going
now
wild.
We're here, we are.
We're right back where we came from, like the mini songs like to talk about. We're having the 2 Pokemon on the rooftops fighting tooth and nail. Oh my god.
Another cool little attention to detail is that Ceruledge doesn't want any other involvement. It's a family affair. And it's normally what I would assume is it would be like, oh, we're going to fight where the battle is. It doesn't know anything about battles or tournaments or anything like that. It just saw a whole bunch of action and was like, I'm going to go over there. So it doesn't need to be in an arena. It's like, oh no, we're getting away from everybody.
Of course not. This is Mega Man Super Fighting Robot Mega Man. Very intense. The trainer's yelling, and Ceruledge, he's on the ground now, and they fight, and Ceruledge falls to the ground, and Ceruledge is laying on the ground, and everybody in the town square is congratulating the trainer for defeating the quote-unquote bad Pokemon. Thank goodness trainer at least said, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I don't know if he's a bad Pokemon, because clearly Armarouge is loving him. He's smiling, fighting him. And then, Geese Peep, Armarouge lays down next to his best friend, just like when they were little kids and they looked at the clouds, and both their tumbos start to rumbo.
And they laugh like they did as children.
And at this point, Taylor is overwhelmed with frustration because you don't get off that easy. What on earth makes you think that you just get to chuckle away after fighting? No, you've been living in a mansion. You abandoned your friend, willy-nilly, who couldn't fend for itself.
You couldn't at any point have gone, hey, let's go look for my best friend.
Yeah, tug on the shirt a little bit and then point with your little fire hand towards the tree.
Exactly. They do a little Ceruledge Armarouge fist bump kind of thing where they smack their blades and arm cannons.
Yeah, which was weird.
And they remember the citrus berry. Oh my god. Now, shouts out to Trainer. Trainer probably didn't even notice Shiny way back when.
Oh, of course not.
He tries to make up for it now and says, hey, Ceruledge, you're pretty sick. Do you want to come with us? And I was thinking, oh, great. Me happy too. Ending where the brothers can be friends together and live together for the rest of their life. And what does Ceruledge say, Geese Peep? Yep. He says no. He says, you abandoned me, so I'm going to live a life of solitude. And I about lost it. We get a shot of the citrus berry, and that's the end of the episode. Geese, did you really skip the credits again, Geese Peep?
Look,
they're always only like a couple seconds, and they literally have...
I'll defend you here, because it seemed like it was just fan art, and it wasn't until like 3 or 4 images in where I was like, oh, it's doing the thing where it continues the story via images. They did just look like
The credits retell some of the events of the episode, some of the stuff we didn't see, and it goes into the future. So we see Houndstone, Tatsugiri, Flamigo, Dodonzo, Florges, Rockruff, and all the Pokemon we met throughout our adventure. And we also see that, thank goodness, I was so afraid Ceruledge would live the rest of his life alone, but no, he learned to become great friends with Gengar and the Bronzors, and these ghosty pals go around having fun lives together while Armarouge has his life of luxury with all the Pokemon in his trainer's mansion.
Yep. Silver Spoon, no friends, or ton of friends living in a creepy shrine that's, I guess, made about you.
I think maybe they travel a little bit. Maybe they don't always live in the abandoned church, but
they have a timeshare.
Yeah. So the canon ending in the credits makes the ending a little bit less sad than I was thinking at first, but
I was just still so upset.
Oh my God. I'm telling you right now, hours after I watched this, I couldn't stop thinking about the life that could have been if they had gone together and been best little friends. But then I thought, but then what would have happened if they were fighting over who got the armor? And I don't know.
So I'll tell you, I think Shiny just says, non-Shiny, you take the armor.
Yeah, I'll stay a Charcadet.
I think Shiny just hangs out and enjoys itself as the equivalent of like a little pet and enjoys the life of luxury and friendship, and Trainer would find a way to make it work.
Yeah. So sad.
I mean, it gets to be probably the sickest Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
But
that is cool.
At what cost? Well,
I don't know.
You know, Batman wasn't built from good birthdays.
Yeah, Batman wasn't built in a day.
That's what they say.
It's a very good episode. So sad. Oh my God.
Just what? When I was thinking about this episode, after the first few minutes with 2 Charcadets, I was thinking, well, one, thank God they've made something with Charcadet instead of just that one episode with that researcher and Gimme Ghoul, where they're like, oh yeah, there's a Charcadet over there, and we're done with it.
Oh yeah, he rode the Terrapagos for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Normally, we get an A team and a B team. This is the S team on this episode.
Yeah, it's very good, very sad. I don't know what score to give it. By Horizon standard, because what am I going to do? Should I take away points because it made me feel sadness? Because at no point during Chansey Pokétoons are we feeling sadness.
No, it affected you. It affected your emotions. That should give you positive points.
Yeah, more points.
So I agree. I agree with Geese, but I also disagree on some level because I don't know that was what they intended.
I don't know.
Because the rest of the episode unfolding didn't seem like you should feel sad. It was like, oh yeah, look, they're laughing. Ceruledge is living life on its own terms.
I don't know what to get. Chansey was great. This is very emotional. 9.6. Sure.
Ha, no way. That's it. That's my exact score.
Geese Peep, what did you think of this?
An 8.
Wow.
I think it was fine. I wasn't crying. I don't really feel a lot of
abandonment. Maybe. I can imagine. I can.
Yeah, great. How is your mother doing downstairs, Geese?
She's never even been broken up with.
First of all, touche. But yeah, I think honestly, y'all's issues may have affected your viewing.
Whoa. Whoa.
Also, I don't. If they're different Pokemon, like I don't really relate to these Pokemon. They're not that cute. Also, I didn't play Scarlet and Violet, so like it's not like I feel an affinity.
Whoa. You're gonna look at the little Charcadet with his little hands holding a berry, saying they're not that cute. Big eyes, adorable.
Literally on my team. Literally, I thought they were brothers. Literally. You kidding me?
On my team too. And you know, this episode is making me want to start training in Armarouge.
Well, both on your team. You guys played the games. You feel some connection. I haven't, so.
I wish Taylor would play the games. Has he even have enough badges to get Shiny Rayquaza? I don't know.
Geese, the only connection I have to Ceruledge is in Pokemon Go and watching the anime. I don't. This the
more than me.
Not...
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, this is just be prepared. I like how I'm telling you this now. Be very prepared. Incredibly sad. I'm glad they're putting. But although, hey. I should have expected it. Season 1 Pokétoons has some sad stuff in there. So
I do think that this is a darn good episode. Oh my goodness, is this episode good?
You need to watch Chansey Pokétoon, Tanner.
The writing was really good. The only thing that I didn't like, and the only reason I'm not giving it like a 9.8, 9.9, because I was thinking 9.9 towards the end of the episode when the battle started, because this is about as perfect as you can get for me, at least, with all the conflicting emotions and the sick animation and the cool like stories. Reading the book to Charcadet, telling the tale of Armrouge or Ceruledge. And
I don't think it made it clear, did it?
The only issue I had was there was no real resolution to that abandonment at the beginning. It was just like, oh yeah, we're good. And that just either one, it's glossing over the impact of it, or two, it means that it didn't mean anything to the Pokemon.
I disagree completely, Taylor. I think we do get a resolution to that he's not going to stay with them. That's the resolution.
That makes sense.
What you're saying would be like, okay, all's forgiven. I'll hang out with you guys now and live in your mansion. Instead, he's like, no, you abandoned me. I'm not going to live with you now. Sorry.
Actually, that's a very good point.
But yeah, I think it's really good.
It's an incredible episode. Everyone should go watch it because it's a standalone. Like, this is so good.
Geese Peep, do you have more to say on the episode before we move on to... Because this is our last episode we're recording this year. You're going to hear it like deep mid-January. But I got to do my 2024 PlayStation Wrapped, and Taylor has to open his phone. So this is our last chance. Before we start that, Geese Peep, do you have any final thoughts? With your 8.0.
Ridiculous, Geese. Ridiculous.
She never felt a...
Wow.
How's your life with both parents, Geese?
I can't.
Wow. Okay, guys. It was fine. I like the animation. I especially like the animation when they both go on the roof and it turns 3D. I thought that was impressive. I was very concerned about the architecture when they were battling. I was like, oh my goodness, if they destroy these buildings.
So I agree with you, and it was real funny how they started the fight with a bunch of explosions, and the animators probably were like, maybe we shouldn't have explosions on the roof, so that they stop blowing up, like all the beams stop exploding.
I'm sure they use some psychic Pokemon to fix it. It's fine. And that concludes our discussion of Charcadet childhood friends or幼なじみのカルボウ. What an episode. Because I'm still thinking about it, so that means something.
It's a very good episode.
I honestly can't think about it for too long because I'll start tearing up. Poor baby shiny Charcadet abandoned. Oh my god. Guys, let's do our PlayStation Wrapped. I hope Taylor has pulled it up on his phone. It's the holiday season.
Holiday season.
Deli Bird. I don't know what Geese Peep's talking about because you're doing it correctly, Taylor, and it's the way we've always done it. Now she's saying you're doing it wrong. But okay. My PlayStation 2024 wrap-up begins now.
Fun idea. Why don't we compare we go through the, like, take turns going through the screens.
Like same time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or like you go, then I go.
My number one game of 2024 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 120 hours. Taylor, what's yours?
Oh, so my first game that I played on January 1st, Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh, I skipped past that one. It was uninteresting. Just go to the top 5 games in the second tab.
The problem with my hour count is that it's so inaccurate.
Oh, you just leave your console on, Taylor?
All the time, especially with Metaphor, because when you pause it, it doesn't stop the timer. So I had in the demo like 50 hours, 60 hours. Destiny 2, of course, with 666 hours, it says.
Okay.
So that's accurate.
Geese Peep.
But we've told her.
Geese Peep. It's a funny story. Can you come close to the microphone? I need to tell you something.
Yes.
There was a big fight Taylor and I had one time, and it remains one of the funniest things I've ever heard of in my life. We were discussing his Destiny hour count. And here's the funny thing about Destiny. You can go to a website and type in anybody's username, and it'll tell you exactly how long they've played Destiny. And we were discussing how long Taylor had played Destiny 1. And I asked Taylor, how long do you think you've played it? And keep in mind, I've seen this boy play it dozen hours every day for years. And he says, I don't know, like maybe 40 hours or something. I said, Taylor.
Well, my guess was like 60, which in my opinion makes it even funnier.
His guess was like 60. And I said, Taylor, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody say. You have hundreds of hours in that game. And he said, no, I don't. And I pulled it up. Guys, can we pull it? Do you remember what the website is called? I want to pull it up right now. Guys, I was laughing so hard. And Taylor got so upset. 772 hours. Geese people.
Just 100.
Next one. Okay, in my number 2 game of PlayStation is Balatro at 67 hours. What is Taylor's?
Number 2 is Metaphor at 131. That's probably close to the 50-hour range, I would say. Oh, you should have compared it to your Switch games.
My Switch games are just Pokemon Violet at number 1, and then down below it is Echoes of Wisdom. My number 3 of the year is Vampire Survivors at 24 hours. What is your number 3, Taylor?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 102.
Wow, that's a lot of hours. Now, my number 4 game is Astrobot with a platinum at 18 hours. What is your number 4?
Helldivers 2 at 71.
Ooh. And my number 5 game of the year is 16 hours of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which that was me rushing through to beat before Rebirth came out. Because you must play Crisis Core before you play Rebirth. It's very important. And I rushed through, and I did it.
And mine is Dark Souls 2 at 63.
Very, very sick. Taylor, keep just scrolling past until we get to the, 6th one that says, in 2024, you played. In 2024, I played 283 hours with 270 PlayStations, Geese Peep, you can go to sleep. 270 play sessions and 37 games played. What about you, Taylor?
Oh, this is an interesting one. Mine says 1,200 hours.
Oh, my God.
With 1,400 play sessions.
What?
46 games played.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the game or what the calculators are doing when I leave a game with the TV off just in rest mode for like 3-4 hours, so I have no clue.
And then on PlayStation Portal, I played 77 hours with 119 play sessions and 17 games played. And on PlayStation VR 2, some of this is Taylor, there were 7 hours played, 25 play sessions, and 11 games played. Very sick. Do you have any stats for that, or does it not count?
Just PS5 and then VR2 with 1 hour played.
Oh, so that actually is yours. Okay. And then in the next
5 play sessions.
And then in the next segment here, in 2024, I earned 276 trophies. Only 1 platinum, 23 gold, 50 silver, 202 bronze, and my trophy level increased 7 levels. How about that?
Oh, I was 270 trophies, 0 platinums this year. 3 gold. So this year was a really weird one because of all the surgeries. So games were the only way that I could socialize with people. So most of that would be Destiny 2, just talking to people, hanging out in the tower. 3 gold, 53 silver, 214 bronze. Level 393.
Ooh. My lifetime trophy count is 5,180. How about that?
Mine's 5,923.
Nice. And that concludes our PlayStation Wrapped of 2024. How about that? Geese Peep is on the edge of her seat. I've never seen her more enthralled in a conversation in my life. Look at her.
So as far as games that you played this year that you would say you enjoyed the most, not that necessarily came out this year, would you still say it's Balatro?
Yeah, Balatro's incredible.
I'm really torn because this was a really strong year. I forgot that I played Dark Souls Remastered, and it really hit well for me. I really, really enjoyed Dark Souls Remastered.
I want to hear from Geese Peep. Geese Peep, please.
Honestly, guys, I'm going to level with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This past year has been chaotic for me in my personal life. I don't really remember what's happened or what games I've necessarily played other than the ones I've played in the last 5 months. I remember at some point early in the year I was playing Manor Lords and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I look forward to playing more games in this coming new year.
2025, the year for the gamers. That's right. Shouts out to the gamers.
Don't worry.
Gamers.
I completely agree. This was a rough few years for me. A lot of my games were kind of escapism.
but had some good highs. Had some good experiences. Ready for next year.
Well, Geese Peep, sounds like it's time for us to go into the wrap-up, so why don't you take it away, our final recording of 2024. As you're enjoying this in 2025, please enjoy. January, shouts out.
Shouts out to January.
My
Geese
birthday
Peep,
month.
birthday.
Ooh, what day?
14.
Wow.
Thanks for remembering, Taylor.
I don't think I've ever known.
I don't think I've ever known.
What's my birthday, Geese? Just the month.
August?
Okay, yeah.
Isn't it like August 6th or something?
Very
Close. August 7th. But I'm going to round that up to your guess being August 10th, and you're way off.
Taylor's birthday is one of the easiest in the world to remember because you just have to remember the story of him wishing he was born on 8/8/88 and then his mother refusing to let his dreams come true and birthing him early. Very funny.
Ridiculous. And the doctors had a hand in it, too, because I was a C-section because I was such a large baby. There's this thing called the APGAR scale, which measures babies. And my mom, because Guncan and I have several friends that are having kids now, won't stop talking about how I was a 10 on the APGAR scale. You were lifting your head up while you were in the nursery, and none of the other babies were doing that because I was so large.
Baby? Take it away, Geese Peep.
Some would say I still am a big baby.
Take it away, Geese Peep, on the wrap-up.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us on social media / other internet places. Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Please like and comment so more people can find us. Also, thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can find him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out to Professor Website for the
boilerplate.
You can follow him at twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Did you say twitch.tv/KeithSquared, Taylor?
Yeah.
Thank you to all our supporters. You can support us, maybe. Go to looklistencast.com. You tell me. And or the podcast feed. Also, please recommend this podcast to your friends because all swear words are cut out or bleeped. Isn't that crazy?
No, they're cut out. We don't even need to bleep them because we don't swear.
That's a good point. And also, please send questions to looklistencast@gmail.com and we can answer them here. Guys, it's time to say guys, everybody say goodbye, please.
We had a lot of other things this episode.
I have to eat. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Please keep some goodbyes, please.
I recommend fiber.
Bye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.